What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kuryo and welcome to another team review. This is episode 2 in this series. I hope you enjoyed the last episode. Sorry it's been so long. I've got a lot of things to rattle off my chest. First of all, there is some weird black condom on my mic. That is to help the sound quality. So I know, because the S's are the way I speak. The S's always come out on the mic horrifically, and when like that sort of sound we just hear a lot in my videos. Hopefully this removes it. It did cost me like £1 on Amazon, so it's not too bad. Secondly, I'm going to be launching a series, hopefully with a few other people soon. Thirdly, I'm creating a tool to help you pick the best players from last season's stats. And 4, apologies if you don't get picked for this series. Today's episode I'm going to be reviewing Joe's team, because I said to him, would I be able to review your team, just so I have a second episode just in case people don't apply or people don't apply at all. And pictures came, I think I'm into double figures now, so hopefully I can get all of the ones currently here done, and then we'll move on from there. But today we are going to be doing Joe's team. Now I've got a tweet on my phone that said, now rate the best fantasy football team in the world made by your main rival this next season. Hashtag Kurt versus Ginge. He also has a YouTube channel. You know, subscribers aren't even worth talking about. But he has a YouTube channel. That'll be in the description. Go and check him out. He has a Fantasy Premier League series. At the moment he's talking about different positions like I did a few days ago. Go check him out. He's got some good content. He's got some good sort of analysis, different to mine. And that variety, I like the variety, because that means not everyone is the same and you can pick different things up from different people and make your own mishmash of reviews. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. Let's go on with the review. Now, the changes from the first episode is we've got half stars coming in now. In a comment they said why not add half stars. There's quite a few players with sort of teetering between stars, so I added half the stars, and you can see next to me now there's a leaderboard, and he went from 56 to 54, 4 players receiving a half a star going down, and we'll add to that leaderboard as we go on. But let's start with the 2 goalkeepers Joe has. He has Adrian and he has Hamer, and let's just rattle off the bat. Hamer's a 1-star goalkeeper. He's not first team. I don't even think he's second team. I'm not sure. He might be 50-50 with Schwarzer if Kasper Schmeichel was to be unfit or suspended, let's say. And Adrian, £5 million goalkeeper. Going by tip of always known, but it was but I never really thought much of it until YouTuber Jano Certified said in one of his videos, stay away from all things new. And I think Adrian is if it was secured this season and for the whole this season that Big Sam was in charge, I think definitely go for him. He'll get clean sheets and he'll make saves, and that is why when you go on to goalkeepers, he is right the way near the top on 442 points, £5 million goalkeeper. That's why he's so expensive this season for a goalkeeper. But personally, I feel it's a risk still. It is a risk for me, I'm not going to lie, and Adrian gets a 3.5 star for me, just because Slaven Bilic is a new manager. He'll still have a good season. I think a new manager, though, it can lead to bad things, especially when they've had such a solid defence. I think people want Bilic to come in and play a better style of football, and when you play a better style of football, you can quite often leave yourself more exposed at the back, which is something you risk not having the style of play that Big Sam had. And I feel like that could come to haunt not West Ham's season. I think they'll still do well, but I think their defence, and I think Adrian's points, it will come to haunt. So he's getting a 3.5. Moving on to the 5 defenders, we have Baines, Company, Baker, Ivanovic and Olsen of Norwich. We'll go through them from left to right. Leighton Baines, for me, gets a 3.5. He had a decent season last season, considering Everton were pretty poor at the back. He had a very good season. I mean, you look at his points total, and he's up there. He's up there. He might miss the start of the season at the moment. It's looking touch and go, but £6.5 million, 139 points. If Everton have a good defensive season, they could be right up there. But again, like I just said it with West Ham fans wanting Bilic to play a more or better style of football, it does come with the territory. If you're not a big team, you will come to concede a lot of goals. I feel like a 3.5 rating. Stay in the middle for Leighton Baines, and also just like to say all players that have been deranked have also been deranked from the previous episodes. Like I've got Baines a 4 in the last episode. He's now a 3.5 and that's the way it's worked with him getting down to 54. But Baines gets 3.5 because of a pretty average season. Another one really, and a different sort of style, is Vincent Kompany. Had a poor season. I think he only got 66 points, was it? Yeah, 66 points last season. £6 million this season. He could be a bargain. It could be another flop of a season for him. Personally, I feel like he's going to have a better season. You can't get much worse than 66. I mean, admittedly, you look at his minutes played, it's just 2,000. But that's still poor for a defender. You look at these defenders and you think, well, you know, you're looking at, if he's playing 3,000 minutes on 66, he's getting about 90. And Fernandes here, you know, 90, played 2,400 minutes, so it just goes to show, you know, there's a wide variety. He did have a poor season, even in the games he played. But I have 3.5 for him because I feel like he could have a good season, could have a bad season. It all depends on the manager, Manuel Pellegrini, and who they bring in. I know that Jovetic is in talks as I'm recording this, and hopefully it'll be out the same day, which is it's a Thursday today, let's just say that. But hopefully they'll be able to bring in a few more players. They've got Delph and Sterling, who could be bench players. I think they'll both have a part to play in the first team because they're very bare. It's a very stripped squad at the moment. They do need the English players. They do need probably another defender to partner company. But 3.5 him. Baker. This is a difficult one because last time I recorded it, he wasn't really in the first team plans. However, Jura Zokore has injured himself. Luckily, it's only until September the 5th. So I feel like he's still a 2-star because he's not first team and he's probably not going to. Doubt he'll be on a bench player if Kore's fixed. You've got Clark, you've got Kore, and you've also got Richards too, as well as Amavi. Not sure who he is. Anyway, Ivanovic, like I said in the last episode, 5-star. There's a reason why in the defending ratings he is right up at the top of 7 million and right up at the top of the score. He's easily, point scoring wise, the best defender to have in your team in the league. People that don't pick him will be losing out. Only 30% of people have picked him. It should be 100. It is a no-brainer. And we're ending things in the defence off with Olsen of Norwich. Now, I don't think a lot of people know a lot about Olsen. He has been in the Premier League a lot before, so he's probably one of the ones that should know. However, he is going to might be injured for the start of the season, but he has had seasons in the Premier League before. He's had quite a few. He's had a time to mould. He had one season in the Championship in Norwich. They've come back up. Olsen is looking from the Championship perspective as a Wednesday fan. He can bomb it down the left-hand side. He only got 7 assists in the Championship last season, but I put him in my team. As you can see, that these are the players darker that I didn't have, and these are players lighter that I did have in my team because I feel like they could do with a player like that. He could get 10 plus assists, hopefully, or 7 assists in the Premier League. For a defender will not be too bad. The odd clean sheet here and there, 4.5 million isn't that bad. For me though, I'm giving him a 4-star rating. That's really controversial considering Baines and company are on a 3.5. I'm only putting it like that because 4.5 million and the points he's hopeful, I'm predicting he's going to get for £4.5 million is worth it. It's definitely worth it. So moving on to midfield now, we have Henderson, Sanchez, Milner, Howson and Hazard. Now that is quite a good midfield, probably the best I've seen on all the pictures. Henderson, like I said last episode, 4-star rating for him. You know, he's captain of Liverpool, and he is gonna, you know, wear like his heart on his sleeve, really, and he's gonna don the midfield like an old Gerrard did. He's got the pace, you know, he's got the shooting. He's matured loads in the last season. And hopefully he can pull Liverpool back up because I didn't have a good season last season. One of the standout things was Steven Gerrard's slip. That was the season before that. Jordan Henderson, you know, rising up, you know, becoming the leader in the team, and you know, many people will always joke about him, but I feel like, you know, he's not really one to joke about. He's a quality player. Another player that a lot of people joke about when I don't get it is James Milner. I love James Milner's playing style. You know, he's fantastic work rate, box to box. You know, many people say that's all he's got, his work rate, but he was one of City's best players. You look at his record for last season. You know, 5 goals and 8 assists in 1,749 minutes. 107. You can basically, you know, almost double that. You're getting a 200-point midfielder here. And you look at the midfielders, there's not many of them. You know, Milner had a fantastic season, and people can joke about him, but he's a quality player, and he, surprisingly, I've really probably upsetting a few people, but I've given him 3.5 stars because you don't know where he's going to play. He might have first team football in a position where he can't do much. With Milner's territory, he'll work well, you know, wide positions, attacking positions. As a striker in general, he played striker for the end of the match when City narrowly beat us 2-1, beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 in the FA Cup third round. 2 goals from Milner, nevertheless, took them through. But he can also play very good in deeper roles and like defensive midfield, like the role Matic has to play, the role players like Mason plays for Tottenham. And for me, that's why he's a 3.5 star, depending on where he's playing. If he does play that attacking midfield role all of the season, you know, I'd be putting him in my team. If he plays first few games in attacking midfield, whether he picks up points or not, I'll probably be putting him in my team. For the simple fact, you know, he will be a point scoring god for £7 million. It is an absolute bargain. Howson, 3 stars for me, straight out there, because to be honest, I don't think he's I think he's good for 5 million, but I don't think he can be relied upon for points. I think he's in there just to, you know, make up the numbers, and that's why he's just getting a 3 star. He could have a good season. You know, I would put him down as maybe a Baker score like 2 star, but he could have a good season. He's a good player. I do like Johnny Howson, and that's why he's only 3 stars. Sanchez and Hazard 5 star and 5 star. Why? Last season's results speak and all that speaks. I mean, Hazard, you know, look at that. He played pretty much the whole season, so that's pretty much his max. Sanchez, however, you know, has got a few more games to go, so you can have them both equal by the end of the season. And, you know, you've got both of them in your team. You know, that is secured points. Absolutely. And finally, the front 3, Jerome, Costa and Deeney. The exact front 3 I'm playing. You know, me and Joe have talked a lot. And Jerome, Costa and Deeney. Jerome, you know, for me, is a good player. It's a half a star less than Deeney and Wilson, which are the 3, I'd say, the triplet of promoted teams' goal scorers. He's a 3 star for me, because I feel like he's had history in the Premier League, and his recent history is pretty poor, I'm not going to lie. Because you look at his goals scored, I mean, he did have a good season, you know, 3 goals and 7 assists, then, you know, before that, 10 goals, 4 assists, 7 goals and 1 assist, but he faded away in the last 3 seasons. And in the Championship, he scored goals, yeah. And whether he can get into Premier League, I hope so, because he's in my team, and I hope so for Joe, because he's in his team. But I feel like 3 star because it could be another fade away season for him. However, I hope not. Maybe the season Championship has given him the spirit and the confidence to go in and take this Premier League season by storm. Who knows? Costa, let's not waste time on him. 5 stars. Simple reason, he's an absolute machine. We're going to end off with Deeney. Deeney, 5.5 million. I think we discussed it in the last episode. However, he has gone down to a 3.5 star because, again, coming up from the Championship, you never know how many points you're going to get. £5.5 million could be a bargain. It could be, you know, an average price. That's why he's 3.5 stars. And that ends the review of our team. I'm very dry-throated. I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to add up the star ratings. I'm going to be back with you with the final results. So, I have the results for you. They are in, and they are as follows. Joe goes to top of the leaderboard by half a star. He has 54.5 stars. You probably could work it out by yourself as well. Probably was on the screen too, but for me, I wanted to announce it at the end of this episode, and then the next time we can start off and see if they can beat them. But 54.5 stars, I think that's a good score considering the team as well. I think points to probably go on is, you know, I did mention the goalkeeper's safety. Probably the wrong safety. As far as any other places you can consider getting up, hopefully I'll be able to get the best players from last season's results there, but it's down to personal opinion. I'm just giving my opinion on the teams, and that is how I'm going to review it. But anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned on my channel to have all the updates on new series, new episodes, new videos, new everything to do with Fantasy Premier League, including my tool to help you guys get better and pick better teams. But thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, leave a like, let me know in the comments down below, and subscribe if you feel like I am worthy. Remember, stay tuned and keep playing Fantasy Premier League. The season is oh so close, and peace.